Is there Pinky? I hear James.
Yeah.
Haggis here.
No, we're all here.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, we're all here. Everybody good to go?
Uh-huh.
I am ready.
Alrighty. In that case, I'll kick us off. The reason I was late is, and this is just me bitching about life and using this as an outlet. And so, feel free to no one listen. You know, it's perfectly understandable.
Good way to start.
I know, right? The thing that you're supposed to listen to, don't listen to it. Unless you want to commiserate with me.
Jesus Christ. What am I listening to? Apparently something I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. I hate birds. Not really birds. I hate birds that peck at wood. I hate birds that peck at wood that is attached to my house. This fucking bird, I was late because I was upstairs in my bird watching post. And so I had to run downstairs and plug everything back in down here. This bird, I fucking hate him. I don't think he's a woodpecker, actually. I think he's just another, some north pecker thing, or I don't know. He's a bird that pecks at wood. He's got a fucking beak. He's an asshole. Keeps pecking at our house. He left us alone for 4 weeks. I thought we were kosher. I was we were approaching the point of okay, well, we can call someone to repair the damage now. Because the annoying thing is it's literally at the very tip top. We can't fucking reach the spot. That's the problem. If we could reach it, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't give a shit at all. But I can't reach it. And we don't have a ladder tall enough. Our ladder's tall and it's not tall enough. And our roof is really steep. So we can't walk on the roof without whenever people come to do something, they always have to drill in and fucking anchor in and stuff like that. And so it's out of the question for us to do it. And I hate this fucking bird so much. I'm so angry. I'm so excited to talk to you all. The end. That's all I got. I hate birds.
I want
I hate
everyone
this fucking
listening
bird.
to know this sounds like a one-off. This has been, as he described, going on for a long time, and man, does it suck. They are really loud, and they damage the home, and for anybody who's thinking of the hillbilly method, you cannot shoot them or do anything to harm them whatsoever. It is illegal.
I looked this up because I was fucking it really pissed me off. I thought we were good. 4 weeks, so positive we were good.
I was going to say, I was going for a 2-week period there, and then I didn't hear about it again, so I assumed that you put the owl up there.
We thought we were fucking good. We thought we were in the clear. And even again, I was starting to think we were in the clear again today, because he came Sunday, and then we hadn't actually heard him again Monday or Tuesday, or today I was going well until 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And we also thought if he was going to come, we had this kind of mental model where if he was going to come that day, he would come in the morning, before 9 a.m. That was his normal pattern. And so then the fact that again, I was okay, maybe it's just that one-off time on Sunday. Maybe he's not coming back again. And then no, the fucking asshole came back at 2 p.m. and broke his fucking patterns. And I fucking hate this bird. I hate this bird so fucking much. But anyways, to your point, yes, they are protected. You are not allowed to kill them. And I'm not gonna lie, some part of me looked up what's the fine if you kill one? Because there's an amount of money that, honest to God, at this point I'd probably be willing to pay to just I would prefer to pay the money and the problem go away, right?
Sure.
I don't want the bird to die. But there's an amount of money that I snap my fingers, money leaves my bank account and the problem goes away. And if that comes out as a fine for the bird dying, then so be it, maybe. I'm not going to kill the bird. All that being said, I'm not going to kill the bird. I want him to leave us alone. Theoretically, this is a thing that stops at the end of around the end of May. But I hate this bird. He's driving me fucking crazy. He's taking a serious toll on my mental well-being, as is made very obvious by me ranting about this shit for 4 minutes now. So that's all I got. I actually, I'll tie it into video games. I've been playing more WoW because 10.1 dropped, combined with this fucking bird is a piece of shit, and so it's easy for me to take my laptop upstairs and play WoW on it while I listen for him. So that's what I've been playing.
How much Actually, never mind. We're never talking about WoW again. But have you played anything else? Have you been playing anything else besides WoW? Or has it just been WoW because of
I
the PC
did.
gaming?
I did actually start Minecraft Legends. And it is
That's right.
it is I. That's where I'd leave it at. I
Uh,
haven't played it. So for one, I've only done campaign. I haven't done multiplayer. And I feel like maybe the multiplayer is where it would get interesting, right? Like that's a lot of what they showed off, like the, kind of like standard. I think it was like explicitly like 2v2 or 3v3, like, multiplayer PvP, which probably be pretty cool. But I've only done the campaign, and it's okay. I mean, like, there's some interesting things that it does, and there's some weird things that it does that, like, I don't necessarily like. So one of the weird things is, like, I went into this expecting a traditional RTS campaign, which this is absolutely not, right? Like, a traditional RTS campaign is you have mission 1, mission 2, mission 3 with little cutscene in between that, like, moves the story along, right? Very standard stuff. The campaign in Minecraft Legends is open world. Like it's very much like open world, like the towers thing, kind of from like Assassin's Creed almost, of like, go. And so like that's kind of an interesting take on it, that like it's kind of an RTS that like is also open world, and so like there's these villages, and then the piglins are attacking, and so you basically like, I think they'll plan something. I'll be like, oh, the piglins are going to raid this village tonight. And so then, like, you'll go to that village, and then you'll prepare the defenses there, and blah, 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 blah. And then while simultaneously, like, during the day, like, taking the time to, like, yeah, like, build your armies and pick which portals you want to go destroy type thing. And so, like, it's yeah, this kind of, like, interesting, and it's not bad or good in my opinion, right? Like I don't think it's better than a traditional RTS campaign, and I don't think it's worse. It's just kind of weird, and takes some getting used to. It's definitely not my expectation going into it. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, and then you earn up, like, sticking with the kind of open world thing, right? Like you earn upgrades, right? So like normally RTS campaigns, it's like every mission, it's like, oh, and we just unlocked this new thingy that you can research at your blah, 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 or here's this new unit that we just saved and blah, blah, blah. And so now you can train this unit. And in this, it's, as you do these things, you gain these currencies, and then you can, like, there's a single spot in the center of the map. You can go build these towers that basically, like, unlock additional units or unlock additional resources and stuff like that. And so, like, it is a really weird blend of, like, an open world RTS game thingy. I don't know. It's interesting.
yeah,
I've heard, just from like the gameplay I've seen, which I have not gotten to play yet, because I literally installed it the day it came out, and then it would not launch from the Xbox dashboard at all. It just did not want me to play it. But it looks very Pikmin-esque.
That's also the
That's
vibe
kinda
that
fair.
I got. Like one of those general ones where you just summon up a bunch of minions with very minimal AI that kind of just run at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the controls are, so I've been playing it on console with mouse, with a controller, not mouse and keyboard. And the controls for it are kind of interesting, right? Because like they're pretty good for what they are, and it's probably, yeah, very similar to Pikmin in that, like, you can, so when it gets to like actual combat, so not the building, so take the building out a second, and so like the minute to minute, the micro, if you were, as opposed to the macro aspect of the game. One of the things is basically like you hold the thingy, and it pulls up this like radial menu. Actually, it's not a radial menu, but it pulls up this menu, and yeah, you can basically pick like the units that you have following me right now. Like you can issue commands to go do things, right? Like go attack this, go charge this area, or go target this specific thing, or stuff like that, right? Like all very standard stuff. But it's just, yeah, kind of interesting. Like I feel like they did a good job incorporating that into the controller. And like when you pull up the menu, you can basically go all the way to the left is like it's basically a grid, right? So it's just you go to the left to like go to melee minions, for example, and then once you're at melee minions, you could go up and down to like pick specific melee minions that you want to issue the command to. And like obviously there's a thing for ranged minions, and a thing for special minions, and a thing for blah 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 blah. And so I thought that they did a pretty good job with that. And yeah, I think it's probably very similar to Pikmin in that you basically say like only certain color. Like actually, it's been so long that I've played Pikmin, which was also only for like an hour, so I'm not even 100% sure. But like you can issue commands to specific Pikmin or like groups of Pikmin, right?
I don't know. Not never played
Pretty
Pikmin.
sure. I've also not
I
played
just
Pikmin,
know
but
what
I'm
it
like
is.
fairly sure that's how it works. You have like
Yeah.
squads.
Exactly. And so I feel like this is actually a very similar system to that. So apt comparison there.
That's probably what they're
yeah,
going
so I
for,
don't
right?
know.
Because Pikmin's
Yeah.
never really had something that filled the void that Pikmin left behind. And so Minecraft Legends just comes in, brings their IP. It's very kid friendly.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
Definitely is.
concept made a lot of sense to me. It's just still crazy to me how much people play these RTSs and RTS style games with controllers and how much everybody likes them. I've never tried one, but everything I know about RTSs does not
I'll
seem conducive to a
say
controller.
the last 2 Command and Conquer games before they got bad also had console releases, and the control scheme they used was a radial menu. And like I mean, obviously, like you probably still would rather do mouse and keyboard, but I thought they were super functional for what they were. And Halo Wars 1 and 2 had a similar system where it was very radial, and I think they all 4 of those games did a very good job.
You
Obviously,
just-
again, not ideal.
You have to
but
build the game around it,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
Which
or
they
and,
did.
and actually, let me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's it. They did a good job at it.
I was gonna say like you have to either build a game around it, like Halo Wars was clearly designed around that in mind, especially the first one, and then obviously because the first one I don't think ever. Maybe it got a PC release later on, but like I think at launch it was only on console. Is what my vague recollection says. And then the second one launched for both, right? Like when it launched, it was definitely available on both. I know that one for sure. Anyways, like if you compare like Halo Wars to StarCraft or something like that, or Age of Empires, right? Like the moment to moment in those games is a lot more intense, especially at the really high levels, right? And so like because of that, you know, the impact or whatever of using a controller to do it isn't as noticeable, right? Because you don't need to like as quickly jump to some other part of the map and like select just some subsection of units or whatever, you know, like you don't need to do it as quickly. You don't need to like, you know, like especially in StarCraft, right? You have the very much like clicking, click out, clicking, click out, clicking, click out, right? Like to like literally get the single shot and then step back, take a single shot, you know, that kind of like very intense micro gameplay that like you just don't really see in console RTSs because it's probably doable, but it just wouldn't feel as well, right? Like or feels good. So that, I don't know, that's kind of my thought too, is just like if you design the game around it, then like it doesn't matter. And I feel like Halo Wars especially and like Minecraft Legends as well, obviously, is like very much designed around like the controller is a first world citizen in terms of like control schemes for it, right? Like it's not the redheaded stepchild or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. If it's your focus. But it's more just RTSs have always been about managing a lot of different things all at the same time and keeping track of stuff in a way that controllers are usually very like singular in their focus, right? Like it's the best at when you're controlling and focused on one thing.
Well, and again, actually probably going back to the Pikmin comparison, like Minecraft Legends in particular is like it's not as standard, or at least the campaign. Again, I haven't played the like a one-off multiplayer PvP game, but at least the campaign is like, yeah, so you don't have a base to manage, right? Like you kind of just wander around and like, yeah, there are villages that like you'll set up defenses at, but like that's it. You set up the defenses and you just fuck off and leave it, right? Like, and so, you know, you are your base, so you're always at your base. So it like seriously tones down the amount of stuff that like you have to manage, you know, like you don't have to instantly swap back from like, oh, I'm attacking this person's base, but let me take, you know, 10 seconds to swap back to my base to like put in, you know, new build orders for more units or something like that, because like you just don't have that in Minecraft Legends. Whereas you do have it in stuff like Halo Wars for sure. So what have you all been playing, though? If you've been playing something involving killing birds, I'd be very interested in hearing about said game. Maybe it'd be a good stress reliever for me.
I have got 2 games off of the Steam sales recently, trying to like do something new than the same 3 games that I keep going back to and playing. And they were Core Keeper and Haitian Tactics, and I liked both.
How's Core Keeper? It's still on sale, so I keep thinking about it.
It's $10. It's fun. It's not. It's always going to be rightly compared to. It is, and I've not played much Terraria, but it is, from everything I can tell, it is Terraria with Stardew Valley's perspective with the top-down. Stardew Valley's grid system. Yeah, and like like a light version of that farming, and then just really, really expanding the dungeon and like melee mechanics, of course.
Perfect.
I think it is good. It is definitely of that like group, like so many. It has a way earlier endpoint, right? Like I can already start to see it not that far into it.
Yeah.
Whereas like Terraria, from whatever you can sink hundreds of hours into, Stardew Valley is fucking endless. I like it a lot though. I think for its price point, it's very, very good.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm early into both of them, but I think I can solidly recommend Core Keeper for the $10 that it's at right now. It's very fun. And it has multiplayer too, which I imagine is fun. Definitely with like, I think the one thing that sets it apart from, I think it'll get compared the most to like Stardew Valley with combat, but it's much more exploration focused than it is like base building. Which I was surprised about because it's called Core Keeper, right? You're imagining like, all right, we're going to build a big base and things are going to come attack it and stuff like that, and that literally does not happen.
Oh,
like, stuff doesn't come to you; you go to stuff.
Interesting.
So it's very good though. I think especially like, admittedly, again, I have not played Terraria. I know Terraria has bosses, but like this game has bosses, and the bosses are very fun and very well designed. I've done 5 of the 11.
I have played a decent amount of Terraria, and it's probably my like least favorite game, with 99% of it of stuff that I like. I absolutely hate how that game controls on console and on PC. Yes. But I think everything else about that game is super, super cool, and I'm desperate for us to get something that is Minecraft with the depth of content that Terraria has. I do not want to play Terraria, but I would love to play a Minecraft-like game with the bosses and world generation and items and just the depth of stuff to do in Terraria. So
that is exactly why I went for Core Keeper. I've gotten Terraria on Switch and been like, I could not get more than a half hour into it because I despise how it plays.
It's, in my opinion, awful. I know I'm in the
love
wrong.
the concept.
But God,
no. I think other people have come to this conclusion with like, they just don't like the very clunky controls and like that perspective too. Again, I think honestly it's probably worth trying out Core Keeper, even though I guarantee with your description, like you will run into the same, this is awesome, I wish there was more of it kind of problem. It's still early access. I'm sure they're going to add a lot more.
They've had pretty steady updates for this, it looks like. I might grab it for $10.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Exactly. That's what it really brings me to those games. And it has really good audio design and music and all that fun stuff, though I do always listen to podcasts and stuff like that when I play games like this, more than a few hours in.
Same.
But I've liked it a lot. It's not exactly the game that I expected, but yeah, I enjoyed it. And then Haitian Tactics I've liked, but also anybody who likes that game, I would just point them to Monster Train, which is just the same concept without the 3D fighting, but better. So those are my 2.
Sorry, James. I just realized I didn't intro the show because I was so angry about birds. This is Jetpack Swords. This is our 36th episode. I'm Greg. I'm joined by my friends James and Packy, and we talk about video games and stuff like that. And sometimes we rant about birds.
Sometimes birds.
James, you said you were in a I don't know what to play loop.
Yes. So I have basically done nothing game related since our last episode. I have been in a I don't know, I get in a probably more than anybody I know personally, in a terrible loop of just staring at my Steam library until I have to go to work, which literally kills me at my soul. Like, it is the most painful thing to me. It's the same thing I do for like writing, where I'm like, oh, I have all these ideas, but I literally don't know how to get them into like a Google Doc document to like actually get to where I can see it. It's like, I'm sure like artists do the same thing where they're like, I know what I want to do, I just can't draw it, which I also have that problem too. But to me, it's all the same, where it's just all this want, and there's no way to get it out to actually do whatever it is, whether it's playing a game or writing or whatever. So yeah, I've been in a rut since the last episode, and kind of honestly for like 3 months now.
Feel you. I mean, that happens to everybody, especially with games.
Sure.
But I mean, even with like opening the fridge, right? Like look at all this food. I don't know what I want to eat. 5 minutes later, look at all this food.
For sure.
Sounds like you just got 1.5 recommendations, though. You know,
that's
Minecraft
why I
Core
did
Keeper.
what I did. I was
We'll
just gonna
see.
sub to WoW again, and I was like, why am I gonna spend this money on WoW? I'm gonna fucking go try something new.
I mean, I played a little bit of the new Stellaris expansion, which Stellaris is my most played Steam game by far. It's at almost 500 hours. I love Stellaris. So like that was good. I don't know if either of you ever saw the V Rising game, the like top-down vampire like base building and RPG kind of game. They just got a big update today, so I was thinking about reinstalling that.
I did. I really wanted that game for a while till I saw it was MMOE, and then I got cold feet.
It doesn't have to be. I would say it's very much a like ARPG camera style survival game, like survival craft game, because like you can play solo. Like I've mostly played solo, despite my friends having it, where we just have never been on at the same time. And you can completely customize the servers, like even the solo servers, just like you would in something like Ark. And I cannot stand the grind that survival craft games have. So I always am like, yeah, 500% extra resources. So like I melee a tree, and instead of getting 2 wood, I get like 600.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, I can just do whatever I want now. So there's a lot of the game I have not seen, because it's actually a pretty big game. But the new update just came out that added like 2 whole new biomes and a ton of stuff. So I was thinking I might get like trying to download that again. But yeah, I also need to finish the Horizon 2 DLC on the PlayStation, because I started it and then I haven't played it since before last week. So
yeah, I need to go back and play the Borderlands 3 DLC.
I've not done. I have all of them, and I've not done any of those yet either. From a billion years ago.
Sounds like that's what we should both do then. There's your unstuck. All right, like that's easy.
I almost reinstalled Remnant. I was like, I kind of want to play some Remnant. That's where I was at today.
I guess you didn't do the Diablo 4 Server Slam.
No, I mean, I've been. Let me also clarify for my like lack of games. I have been very busy with work, and then also I started going to the gym again, and it's been good.
Nice,
but where it is at in my daytime schedule has basically somehow, despite it only being 45 minutes to an hour Monday through Friday each day, it has completely destroyed my amount of free time. So, yeah,
That's what working out does.
It's literally 1 extra hour that like I'm just giving up, but it has turned my mornings into nothing, and it has turned my evenings into nothing. So, yeah, I've had no time to do anything, and it's stupid.
Either for me, it's either I legitimately don't have the time, which it kind of sounds like what you're talking about, or also a bigger one for me, which maybe this is also happening for you too, is I just don't have the energy, right? Like, especially if work gets busy, and like recently, obviously, with the fucking bird, I hate the fucking bird. It's been just like, I don't have the energy to sit down and play something. And so like, I'll find myself doing what you're talking about, like literally staring at, my library or whatever, and it's being like, I don't have the energy to play any of these things. And then like 30 minutes into it, I'll just be like, I'll play like a single game of like, I don't know, probably Halo, because that's like an easy 10-minute hop in thing, and then like I'll play fucking terribly because I don't have the energy, and then I'll be like, fuck this, and I'll shut it off and I'll just go upstairs and watch TV, right? Like I've been in that loop for well over a week before, of like staring at the thing, trying something for 10 minutes, and then just like giving up and going to watch TV. Like I've definitely been in that loop, at least.
It's
I don't know
definitely
if yours is
that
similar.
for me, but it's even more so. I am the absolute worst at trying to be a perfectionist with time management, where I'm like, okay, I got to go to the gym at 10, which means I got to leave the apartment at 9:55 because it's literally so close to me that I just walk there. It's great. But then because I have to be ready, I have to leave at 9:55. I have to get ready at like 9:45, which means that if I wake up at 8 and I eat breakfast, that takes me till 8:30. So I only have 8:30 to basically 9:30 because I want to make sure I'm ready to get ready. And I do that. I basically break my day down so much into like how I need to manage the time that I end up not doing anything. I just get, and I'm pretty sure that's probably just a symptom of like anxiety, but like I've always done that, and it's gotten so much worse lately in the last, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year. And going to the gym is good. Like I feel good about it. Me and William are going, 5 days a week, but like it has destroyed my ability to have my like outside of work free time.
I definitely
like today is a day off, and I've done
I
nothing. I literally I went to the dentist, went to the gym, and then since I like was free of everything at like 1:00 until we just started this, I've literally done nothing. I've just sat and stared at my like. I watched 2 episodes of Succession, which is great. I love Succession, fantastic show. But other than that, I've done nothing that's like actually productive. So, yeah, I'm in a very rough, like privileged person spot right now.
And then I feel you. And I mean, and then after this, you got to go just make dinner, right?
I got to go make dinner.
You know.
And then Danny's going to want to hang out, which is fine. That's totally okay. But that'll take us until like midnight. And then I'll go to sleep. And I'll wake up tomorrow and go to the gym. And then I'll be like, this is my last day off this week. And I've only got one off next week. So I need to like make sure I do what I want to do and have fun. And I already know that I'm just going to like bounce between my Xbox, my PlayStation, and my Steam library and not actually play anything. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Definitely feel you. It sucks, those ruts. And like I said, I think everybody gets into them. And yeah, it really sucks. Also because like, it's kind of just like, if you look at, everyone online will be like, that's a symptom of depression, right? Like this thing that like I like, especially like I don't have the energy, or like this thing that I used to enjoy doing, I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever,
and I don't,
right? And like, and so like, I mean, yeah, it sucks if I feel it wholeheartedly. Hopefully you get out of that rut soon.
Hopefully. Just waiting on Diablo 4 to come out. That'll fix it for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I asked, obviously, if you did the Server Slam too. So
I was going to.
I knew you had done the first one.
I didn't have any time.
I think this is also, this is a psychological phenomenon that specifically affects it affects many things, but video games especially now. It's the something of choice, where it's like
Paradox of choice.
Paradox, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have just far too many choices.
Yeah.
And our brains literally freeze. Like, when we were younger, part of it's you're younger, you just like kind of attach to things more quickly. But like when you literally only have your physical library of games, like it's way easier to just make a choice, right?
Yeah,
As
for
opposed
sure.
to now.
No, it's classic example is like if you have a kid, you don't give that kid like, hey, here's 5 things you can do. You say you're gonna like do this one thing and that's it. And the kid just like they don't have a choice. They just do the one thing. And yeah, looking at my massive Steam library, I'm like, man, that would be kind of fun to play, but it's 60 gigs to install, and I don't already have it installed. So like, is it worth it to sit here for 2 days and install it? No, but I don't want to play any of these other things. I guess I'll go to the Xbox, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do the Xbox. So what else am I gonna do? It's stupid.
Say
it's such
this
a
paradox of choices.
Such a privileged problem. I could be starving or something, but instead I'm doing this.
No, I mean this is 100% a first world problem, right? Like, well, and I was gonna say, it's compounded by the fact that like it's not just the one thing, right? Like it's not just the Steam library, like you're saying, right? Like it's like, so you're not just stuck, unable to decide in the things directly in front of you. You're stuck there, and then you're like, oh, but that's okay because I have this other thing. So let me go look at this other thing, and then you're stuck there, and then you like, let me go look at this, that one being the Xbox. So it's like, okay, well let me go look at the PlayStation now, and then you're stuck there, and then let me go look at the Switch now, and so like, it's this paradox of choice that you're talking about, then compounded by the fact that you have choices, and then you have choices within those choices, right?
Yeah.
Just making it, like, because it's so easy to be like, Packy, you were talking about like, oh, if you had the physical games in front of you, it's a lot easier to make the choice. Like, if you only had a Steam library, for example, like maybe it would be easier to make a choice. But instead, you can be like, nah, it's okay. Let me just go to one of my other platforms and look there. And so it makes that even worse than it already is.
Yeah. That's why TV ends up being my like backup choice, because like Succession is something I've not seen all of yet. So if I go watch that is something on paper at least that is productive. It is a new thing that I'm getting to do, and I can like cross it off. It's always my backup is just watching episodes of a new show or rewatching a show that I haven't seen in a while. It's always a safe.
I mean, we just did Picard. We just watched season 3 of Picard, which is fun. It was nice, especially if like anyone watched The Next Generation. Obviously, season 3 in particular is a very nice like celebration of TNG. What I end up finding myself doing is when I sometimes get in those ruts, I end up spending more time playing games on my phone than I do on any of my consoles. And the reason is like, it's because I'll go to watch TV and then I'll like maybe do some like silly dumb game on my phone or something, right? Like, which is that's the like absolute. It's just like I didn't have the fucking energy to sit down and play a real game, but like I can sit here and like fucking move my thumb back and like it's just like that's the worst. Like, what the fuck, like I have these great things available to me, and I'm choosing to sit here and fucking do this. And so it's just that's where it really gets me. Although I don't even have a good mobile game right now. I got bored of Mighty Doom and I need a new one.
I don't have any recommendations. I generally do not enjoy mobile gaming.
I was going to say, I will never have a recommendation. I cannot remember the last mobile game that I liked.
I try stuff every once in a while, and I always bail out.
There's some Lord of the Rings one that looks interesting, but it almost looks like, again, it would take too much attention, right? Like, and like, I'm in my brain is fried and I need fucking garbage, mindset.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, need Diablo.
But
Diablo's just gonna be that game. It's that game for so many people.
Well, and honest to God, I thought about fucking like reinstalling Diablo Immortal on my phone, but it's fucking huge. Like it's like 20 gigs on the phone. Like who has that much space on their?
That's stupid.
So the base game is like big, but it's not like massive, but it's big. And then like you download the individual zones separately. So like theoretically, like if you spend time only in one zone or something, like it could be smaller, but like no one fucking does that. You obviously want to go to wherever your thing is. And so like you have all the fucking zones installed and it takes up like 20 fucking gigs on your phone. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, I mean Diablo 4 will probably be that, scratch that itch. Honestly, God, I thought about playing Minecraft Dungeons on cloud streaming it to the phone. I thought about doing that. Or finally trying Slay the Spire, which
Packy always raves
great.
About.
So good.
So unbelievably good.
And again, just I would literally stream it to my phone and just play it there while watching TV. Probably is what I would do.
That is exactly how I played it. I heard that is better than getting the like $10 mobile version.
It's nothing else.
I liked it a lot.
It's I would want my progress to transfer. Like that's the thing. Like I want my progress to transfer. Like, I was thinking about. Well, I'll say this last note and then we'll wrap up so James can go cook dinner. So we're already holding him late, and so sorry about that. Thank you for your time. Obviously the ABK thing, Activision Blizzard acquisition, blah 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 blah. Anyways, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. But one of the things that, like, you know, some people are torn. They don't really want to go through because Megacorp buying other really large thing for $80 billion, probably not a good thing, right? Like, it raises some alarm bells, obviously. And then other people want it because, you know, they want the benefits, right? Like, they want the Diablo 4 on Game Pass or stuff like that. Anyways, what I realized, one of the things that I would really like is I would like to have a Diablo 4, and maybe this already is happening. I can't remember. And so maybe this isn't a requirement. But I would like my Diablo 4 save file to follow me around, right? Like, I'd like to be able to play it on my computer, on my laptop, or play it on my Xbox, or stream it from my Xbox to my phone, and it'd be the same save file, the same characters, and, like, that's obviously what I'm really looking forward to. Oh, sorry. It's that combined with, I don't want to buy it twice, right? Like, I don't want to have to buy it on my computer and then buy it on my Xbox. And so, like, you know, there's a 1% chance in the future that, like, either it'd be on Game Pass, both PC and Xbox Game Pass, or it would be on, like, maybe it'd be a Play Anywhere title, which is you buy it once and you get it on both your PC and your console. Anyways, neither of those things are particularly likely. But that is kind of, like, in the back of my head, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, yeah, that would be kind of a nice side effect of, like, not having to buy Diablo 4 twice, which I wouldn't. Like, I'm not going to buy Diablo 4 twice, right? But I'd like to get the benefits of buying it twice without buying it twice, essentially, is the TLDR. And so on that note, that's all I got. I guess also on that note, obviously, the EU approved it. UK, CMA still saying, fuck you. Kind of funny.
That. Yeah, it is.
The end, yeah. Like, it's just kind of funny because they're really digging in. You know, they're like, they did their whole, like, five tweet thingy mabobby of, like, they're entitled, and it was literally like, they're entitled to their own opinion or something like that. It's just like, I don't know, it comes across as kind of childish of, like, one government's regulatory body, like, I don't know, like, it yeah, literally childish to another government. Like, you guys are adults. I don't know, like, you're big, important, you know, things. Like,
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. It's this, like, weird, like, you're entitled to your own opinion, like, on, like, this public forum. It's just like, it just feels really random. And, like, it's just, I think it's just because this entire thing has gotten so much publicity that they just, like, felt like they needed to defend themselves or whatever. And so, like, I don't know.
I think it's exactly that, right? Like, in prior days, you would never even dream of commenting on that. You would just make your decision, put it out there, and say nothing. But now with, like, the incessant pestering they must be getting on Twitter and every other platform for, like, some kind of response, they just gave one, and it's never going to come off well.
But so we'll see what happens with that. Who knows? And on that note, we will wrap it up for our 36th episode of Jetpack Swords. And James can go cook dinner, and I could also go cook dinner. I also need to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Adios, and have a good one, everybody. Also, birds suck. I hate birds that peck at wood on houses. They're the worst. The end. Bye.